Hey everyone, Decav13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Stay Night. Okay, well, we're drawing near to the end of this path, whether I like it or not. I think there's only, there's 4 days left, including today. Oh boy. Things are not looking good, for anyone, really. But, yeah, we're gonna continue on. Starting at day 13. And I took a look at the chapter name before I was able to get to the menu. And, yeah, it's not looking good. Considering that today's chapter, February 12th, is called Last Talk. That's probably nothing good. Anyway. This happened 10 years ago. In the middle of a blazing town, I chased the responsibility of being the only survivor. I've never forgotten, not even once. The price I paid for surviving is to make sure that this scene never happens again. I swore an oath. I swore to myself that I'd always do the right thing, like my old man. That's what Shirou has spent his life doing. I got this far allowing my own life to be used by others, so that I could proudly face those who couldn't be saved. I understand that all too well. I do. And yet... I know the main culprit. You know who you should defeat. The Black Sun. You have to kill that shadow which appeared in the sky that day before it happens again. Remember what you've lived for all this time. You affirmed your way of life to save those who wish to be saved, and to help innocent people who get caught in tragedies. And if you're going to reject it all now for just one woman... then Shirou must pass judgment on himself. I wake up from my slumber. It's bright outside and past 7 o'clock. My body feels heavy. My limbs feel numb. My sluggish head can't quite remember who I am. Maybe my blood isn't flowing yet. I pat Sakura, who's sleeping next to me. Strangely, all I remember is that we went to sleep next to each other. The fact that the girl I love is sleeping next to me must be far more important than silly questions like, who am I? I touch her shoulder a couple more times. Sakura feels cold. I don't mean her attitude. She's physically cold and hard to the touch. In a haze, I get up and look around the room. She's not here. The sensation of sleeping together and holding her hand tightly so she won't go anywhere is gone. Sakura isn't in the room.
Sakura!
She's nowhere to be found. Her room is silent and unused. Sorry, can't move my fucking carpet around outside. There's nobody in the living room. I can't move my body very well. I stub a toe on the table as I try to get around it. I trip and fall using the wall to get back up, and I go to the hallway. Am I panicking? Nothing feels wrong with my body, but I can't calm down. Why am I panicking? What am I anxious about? I try to put it into words, but I end up getting lost in thought for 10 seconds. Am I unable to think right now? Or does something I've already thought of just fail to come to mind? The blood flow in my just awakened head is poor, and I can't tell which it is. I can't remember what I want to do. But I see Sakura's shoes by the front door and breathe a sigh of relief. Tosaka's shoes aren't here. Ilya's shoes are. What that means is...
靴がないってことは、そうだ、外に出ているのは遠坂だけなんだから、桜はうちにいるってことだ。
So that's why I feel relieved. Sakura hasn't gone out anywhere. Okay, I'm starting to connect the dots. Basically, Sakura woke up first. She must have washed up, made breakfast, changed in the dojo, did laundry in the backyard.
なんだ、心配して損した。
I sigh and turn back to the living room.
Shirou!
Tosaka comes running in from the front door.
なんだ、遠坂。朝のお散歩か？
そんな悠長な真似するかって話は後。桜が外で倒れてるから運んできて、私は手当ての準備をするから。
The clock turns. It's past 9 o'clock. 2 hours ago, I carried Sakura, who had collapsed near the front door, into the living room, as Tosaka told me to. My paralyzed brain finally started working.
ねえ、シロ、落ち着いた？
うん。なんとかまともには戻った。心配かけてごめんな、イリア。正直、ここ2時間の記憶がないんで、どんなバカやったか覚えてない。
別にシロは何もしてなかったよ。さくらを抱きかかえてきて、リンが手当てしてる時はずっと手を握ってあげてたでしょ。それで高い熱があるだけだって分かった途端、ペタンって床に座っただけだし。
そっか。それで遠坂、さくらを客間に連れてったみたいだけど。
リンはさっき和室のクローゼットを調べてたけど、きっとさくらの着替えを探してたのね。さくらは汚れてたから着替えさせないと寝かせられないでしょ。
I see. That makes sense. I'd have to stay in the living room in that case.
あのね、今から着替えさせるっていうのに男のあんたがついてきてどうするのよ。
Tosaka probably gave me such a warning.
それで2時間待ちぼうけか。いくら混乱してたからって。
It makes me feel like an idiot. Seriously, what's going on with me today? There's so many things I should be thinking about. Sakura's well-being after she collapsed from a fever. The massive meal that the enemy had last night. No, I can think about those later. Right now, I should be considering why Sakura was found outside the house when she went to sleep next to... I want to vomit. My thoughts deny each other. 2 hours of lost time. That's how long I thought about that problem to the point of not wanting to anymore, my body reminds me.
シロ、思い出せないことは思い出さないで。それは忘れたんじゃなくて、なくなったの。ないものをいくら掘り出しても出てくるものは靴。
イリア？
なんでもない。ただの独り言だから忘れて。
I'm assuming the way he's acting now is... I'm assuming it has to do something with Archer's arm, right? It's probably like eating away at him. Like he's even losing his memories now. Ilya looks away and goes quiet. A few minutes pass. Around the time the hand on the clock points to 10.
お待たせ。さくら、目を覚ましたわよ。
Tosaka came in and said it like it was no big deal.
遠坂、さくら大丈夫なのか？
さあ、話があるなら私じゃなくて本人に聞けばいいでしょ。私から言うべきことはないわ。
わかった。ちょっと行ってくる。
I stand up. I leave Ilya and Tosaka in the living room and go to Sakura's bedroom.
よかった。来てくれたんですね、先輩。
In bed, Sakura sees my face and makes a slightly pained sigh.
バカ、来るに決まってるだろう。さくらが倒れたんだからどこにいたってやってくる。今回は遠坂に取られたけど、さくらの看病は俺の役目なんだから。
I take a seat on the chair next to her bed. Sakura does her best to make eye contact from where she's lying.
それで体の方はどうなんだ。遠坂は何も言ってくれなかったんだが。
そうなんですか。姉さん黙ってるんですね。
まあ聞きたいことは全部さくらに聞けとさ。一応気を使ってるんだな、あれは。
先輩、ちょっと嬉しそうです。前から思ってましたけど、先輩って姉さんの厳しいところ好きでしょ。
そんなことあるか。そりゃ遠坂はしっかりしたやつだけど、終始あんなんじゃたまらないぞ。大体な、こういう時ぐらいこう分かりやすい気遣いをしてくれなきゃ身が持たないだろう。俺もさくらも。
Sakura nods with a smile. Her expression looks so content, it makes me feel a little relieved.
よしよし、その調子じゃ体の方は安心だな。さくら、遠坂はなんて言ってたんだ。
体力の低下と栄養不足と軽い熱だそうです。寝ている分には何の心配もいらないから、とりあえず今日一日は絶対安静だって言われちゃいました。
Sakura's breathing sounds labored even as she says that. Is she having a hard time even when she's lying down? It seems like she's trying to control her breathing so that I don't worry.
そっか、それじゃあしばらくは横になってろ。その魔力の方は足りてるんだろう。
そのですね、先輩のおかげでそっちの方は大丈夫ですよ。
I feel myself blushing as I ask. Still, it's something I need to be sure of, so I'll have to put up with it.
なら美味しいものを食べて栄養を取ればすぐ良くなるな。待ってろ、昼飯は腕によりをかけて作ってくれ。
I roll up my sleeve reassuringly. However,
ごめんなさい。本当は私が先輩に作ってあげなくちゃいけないのに、せめて立ち上がれればお手伝いできるのに、そんなこともできないなんて悔しいです。
apparently they were hard words for Sakura to hear. That's right. Sakura's worried about her role in our home. She wants to at least live life, even if she can't do anything about our situation. But she isn't even allowed to do simple things like cook anymore.
ま、今は我慢するんだな。病人は病人らしく休まないと損だぞ。何しろ治ったら朝も昼も夜もさくらに押し付けるつもりなんだ。後になってあの時もっと休んどけばよかったって後悔するぞ。
I jokingly tell Sakura what's in store for her. Yeah. I'll let her have the kitchen for half a year if that makes her happy.
本当ですか？先輩、後でやっぱりなしっていうのはダメですよ。
本当だって。とりあえず半年はおとなしくしてる。ああ、いや、さくらが大変な時は助手としてこの晩ぐらいはさせてもらいたいけど。
I've been standing in the kitchen for the last 8 years too. I need to hold a frying pan in my hands at least once in a while to feel at ease.
じゃあ約束ですよ、先輩。私が治ったら真っ先にご飯を食べてくださいね。
ああ、そんな約束でよければいくらでも。
I stand up from the chair. I shouldn't tire Sakura out with any more conversation. We got to talk and I confirmed that Sakura is safe. Now I need to let her rest.
じゃあまた後で。昼飯時になったら来るから、それまで眠ってるんだぞ。
I leave her bedside. Sakura nods without saying anything.
そうだ、さくら。
As I reach for the doorknob, something occurs to me.
何ですか、先輩。
いや、なんで門の前でなんか倒れてたのかなって。 さくら、俺の部屋で寝てただろ？
I ask the question as casually as possible. After a slight pause, she answers.
朝の散歩です。先に目が覚めたから少し外に出ようかなって。けどそこで倒れちゃいました。本当、姉さんの言う通りですよね。今の私は外に出たらダメみたいです。
She answers as brightly and naturally as I ask the question. Neither Tosaka nor Ilya are in the living room when I return.
二人とも部屋に戻ったのか。
Could be. They're working on trying to replicate some jeweled sword. My role in the process starts once they create a replica approximating the original. Until then, my responsibility is to draw out as much of Archer's magecraft experience as possible from this arm.
I am the bone of my sword. か。
That's his original incantation that backflowed into me along with the pain. It oddly rolls off the tongue, once it embedded itself in me, the success rate of my projections dramatically increased. I can complete roughly half of my projections now. I'm copying Archer in order to make copies of a real weapon.
けど、それでできるのは偽物だ。
His projections are all meant to be reproductions that are treated the same as their originals. The only thing that Shirou Emiya can make is a degraded delusion. If I want to turn that into an illusion, I have no choice but to borrow this arm's power. Self-destruction. Using this arm even once will do more than simply poison myself. It'll light the fuse on a bomb. Once I do that, my end is assured. I imagine a firing trigger. A handgun is inside my brain. The muzzle points from my brain to the outside, but the trigger is contained within. The ticking time bomb that Kotomine mentioned must be this mental image of a gun.
なら、頭の中の銃さえ取り出せれば、使ってもスイッチは入らない。
No, I need to get the fuse itself out of my head, too. That's the best solution. Of course, I have no idea how I'm supposed to do that.
そうだ、ニュース。
I turn on the TV. I watch the news with a heavy body, feeling a need to know the outcome of last night's incident. It's easy enough to find the right channel. Every single network is talking about it. Disappearances with no clear cause. Residents missing from 40 homes. Not a single person lucky enough to escape that plight was even aware that their neighbors disappeared. And not a single one of nearly 60 people will ever be coming home again. One by one, I memorized the names of the nearly 60 missing persons. One by one, I carved the strangers' names into my mind. And one by one, I replaced them with the names of people close to me. Can you forgive it? When the time comes, will you be able to forgive? Will you truly be able to forgive the one who caused this, and yourself for letting it happen? If not, if you can't protect it from this sin, then the painless way out will be to put a stop to it before any more crimes happen. The TV screen goes dark. As for the news report that was describing the damage in detail,
バカな真似してるんじゃないわよ。私たち起きたことを悔やめるほど真っ当な人間じゃないでしょ。
Tosaka shows up out of nowhere, turning off the TV.
遠坂。
ほら、お茶入れたから飲んで。イリアが一人になりたいって言うから暇になったの。
She sets a teacup on the table. She says it's like it's the reason she's here, even though it isn't. I have no reason to follow her instructions, but
せっかくの茶だ。飲む。
飲んで。けど舌がやけどするぐらい熱いからね。
そっか。なおさら助かる。ありがとな、遠坂。
別に私が仕切り直したかっただけだし。シロはおまけよ、おまけ。
all I can do is gratefully accept her awkward way of being thoughtful. Time passes. Tosaka and I don't do anything. We just look at each other and drink our tea in silence. Strangely, I don't feel nervous. Rather, it feels like a weight is off my shoulders, like I can take a mental breather. You know, Maybe Tosaka is actually a soothing person.
何よ、いきなりにやけて。言いたいことがあるなら言いなさいよね。
ふと思っただけだ。遠坂とこんな風に何もしないでいるなんてことは一度もなかっただろう。俺たち顔を合わせれば聖杯戦争のことしか話していなかったからさ。なんていうか殺伐とした関係だったなって。
しょうがないでしょう。もともとそういう始まりだったんだから。それとも何？この状況で死刑の範囲とかお気に入りの店とか話せっていうの？
いや別に今のでいいんじゃないのか。なんていうか油断ならない関係っていうのが俺たちらしい。
So it feels odd, unbalanced even, for us to be lazing around in this way.
遠坂の言う通りそういう始まりだもんな。俺が遠坂と話すようになったのはマスターになってからだし、遠坂だって俺がマスターにならなければこうして知り合うこともなかった。
In that sense, that's one good thing that came out of being a master. I get to fight alongside the girl whom I only admired from afar.
それ少し違う。あなたはどうだか知らないけど、私はシローのことずいぶん前から知ってたんだから。
With a hint of bashfulness, Tosaka murmurs something I couldn't possibly miss.
知ってたって俺を？
When I ask why, she nods, looking even more embarrassed.
そんなバカな。もしかして1年の頃話したことがあったっけ俺。
そんなことなかったわよ。知ってたっていうのは一方的に知ってたってこと。ちょっとね、私にとってエミやシロってのはトラウマの一つになってるの。
トラウマってなんでさ。
That doesn't sound very nice. I know that you can't go through life without offending people without even realizing it, but still. My mental health is bound to have a very poor outlook when it involves Rin Tosaka, who loves getting payback threefold or even fourfold.
なんでって、そんなの私が言いたいぐらいよ。いいわ。いい機会だから直接愚痴ってあげる。今から4年前のちょうど今頃の話よ。あなたどうしてだか知らないけど学校に残って日が落ちるまでずっと走り高跳びやってたことがあるでしょ。
Just like your sister, huh? It's really kind of funny that both sisters paid attention to Shirou when he was doing this.
Huh?
I blink at the unexpected question. Not because the question itself was surprising, though. Sakura mentioned the same thing before.
あるけどそれはなんだよ。
私それ見てたの。ちょうど昇降口から出てすぐのところ、校庭の端っこでバカみたいに飛べっこない高跳びを繰り返すやつをやっぱりバカみたいに眺めてたわけ。
Wait. That can't be true. Sakura was the one watching me. Besides, Tosaka...
言っとくけどただの偶然よ。私は生徒会の用事でシローの学校に行っただけで、クラスはおろか学校そのものが違ってたんだから。
だよな。確か一星と同じ学校だったって聞いてる。
そう、あいつとはその頃からの腐れ縁。前は私が副会長であいつが会長だったの。4年間も顔を合わせて言い合ってたらどっちも気に食わない天敵同士だって理解できたけど。
Yeah, that sounds about right.
なるほど。そんなに長い因縁だったのか。
I can believe that. We've always thought that Issei's attitude towards Tosaka was unnatural. Or I've always thought. Feels like one mystery has been melted, only to be frozen again.
とにかくあなたがバカみたいに飛べない高跳びを繰り返している現場に偶然出くわしたってこと。話はそれだけよ。私があなたを知ったのはその時で、さくらがこの家に通ってるって知ったのはもっと後。それまでシローの名前も知らなかったし、顔だって忘れてたわ。
Well, I understand her history now, but...
あのさ、それトラウマになる話かな、遠坂。
4年越しの復讐ってやつよ。1年前さくらが弓道部に入ったでしょ。 それで暇さえあれば弓道部を見てたんだけど、たまたまね、部員でもないのにやってきたやつがいてさ、そいつの顔を見て思い出したの。あいつあの時の大バカだって。
I have something to say about how she found that out, but I keep it to myself.
で、その瞬間にショックを受けたわけ。私は名前も知らない、学校も違う、おまけにバカだバカだって思ってた見知らぬ他人を3年経った後でも一目
Really
で
gotta
分か
hammer
った
home
っ
the
てことだ
moron
ね。
part, huh?
それで、あいつは私にダメージを与えていたんだって3年経ってようやく気づいた。私はあのバカみたいにずっと走ってた誰かを羨ましいと思ってたんだって。
なんでさ、そいつバカだったんだろ。遠坂が羨ましがるようなやつじゃない。
そうね、私は羨ましかったんじゃなくて負けたって思った。そいつが少しでも飛べるんだって希望を持って走っていたんならよかった。そんなことなら素通りしてさっさと家に帰ってた。けどそいつは自分でも無理だって分かってるのよ。何をしたって無理だって分かってるのにずっとそれを繰り返してた。たとえ無駄でも挑むことに何か意味があるんだって信じてるみたいにね。正直そんな無駄は私にはできない。昔からそうなの。私は事の成否を測って今の自分にはできないって判断したらすっぱり手を引くたちでさ。できないことはやらないし、それを力不足だとか残念だって思うこともない。そのあたり冷めてるっていうかひどい人間なのよ私。綺麗は非道ではなく機械的だって言ってたけど。
Tosaka isn't saying this out of humility. She's confident and proud of who she is.
けど時々思うことだってある。事の正義なんて考えずただ物事に打ち込めることができたらそれはどんなに純粋なことなんだろうって。まあそんな風に迷うほど子供だった頃いきなり自分と正反対のやつを見せられたらショックでしょ。だからトラウマ。あの日真っ赤な夕暮れの中でバカみたいに走ってたそいつは私にとって。
She doesn't mean it in a hostile way. She's just glad he was there. She looks like she's daydreaming as she murmurs it.
つまんないこと話したな。うまくいかないからナーバスになってるのかしらね。
Tosaka stands up and declares that break time is over.
部屋に戻るわ。午後はイリアと骨格の製鉄をしてるからシローはさくらの看病でもしてあげて。
She puts her teacup in the sink and leaves down the hallway. But before she's gone,
ねえ、さくらの様子どうだった？
she stops and asks me as if she just remembered.
元気そうだった。熱はまだあるようだったけど、前に倒れた時に比べれば安心できる。それにさくら本人もおとなしいしな。前は無理して家事をしようとしてたけど、今日はおとなしく横になってくれてる。あれなら治るのも早いんじゃないか。
おとなしくしているのは当然でしょ。あの子自分じゃもう立ち上がれないんだから。
She can't stand?
なんで？魔力は足りてるはずだ。なら体力だって十分にあるんじゃないのか。
Nope.
ええ、魔力も体力も人並み以上にあるわ。
Oh,
Kiddo.
yeah, that
Nagami
would
wa
explain it.
hidoi
Yeah,
mono yo.
the worms have ravaged too much of her body already.
昨日の夜何があったのかは知らない。けどあの子一度は確実に死んでるわ。そう思わなければ納得がいかないほど手足の筋肉がズタズタなのよ。
Well, I guess that makes sense considering that she was practically skewered by Gilgamesh.
まさかさくら外傷なんてなかったじゃないか。
外見だけ綺麗につなげてあるだけよ。体内の刻印柱に食いちぎられたのか他の何かに切り刻まれたのかは知らないけど、もし体中を切り刻まれたとしたらその痛みは体だけじゃなく 心まで壊してるかもしれない。聞くけど、さくら、あなたのこと分かった？
Did she not recognize you? I stopped myself from reflexively saying, of course. Tosaka looks like she's in anguish. Meaning,
さくらは遠坂が分からなかったのか？
いいえ、ちゃんと私だって分かってたし、姉さんって呼んでくれたわ。けど、あの子が見てたのは目の前にいる私じゃなくて、さくらが思っている遠坂凛だったんでしょうね。ほんと、初めましてだの、もっと早く会いたかっただの、本音を立て続けに言われた時はさすがに先だったわ。
Tosaka's voice grows cold and she looks away. She wanted to kill her? Tosaka wanted to kill Sakura.
要するに、私にはできないってこと。あなたみたいにさくらを最後まで擁護することもできないし、その気もないの。
遠坂。
言ったでしょ、私できないことはやらないの。私が遠坂凛である以上、もう無理だと判断したらさくらを殺すわ。初めからそういう約束だったから念を押すこともないんだろうけど、一応宣言して感想はいいわよ。あなたの考えは分かってるし、言われても何がどうなるわけでもない。私たちは造剣を倒すことにおいては仲間だけど、さくらに関してはずっと平行線のまま。それが嫌なら一刻も早く造剣を倒せばいい。けどシロー、もし造剣とあの黒い影が全く別物だとしたら、あなたはどうするの？
I keep my mouth shut. Tosaka's question is so pointed it gives me vertigo.
シロー、私はいよいよとなったらあの子を殺す。それがどちらにとっても最良の方法よ。それをあなたもよく考えておきなさい。
Tosaka goes back to her room, leaving me alone in the living room. She hears a voice. Her body is in tatters and her mind a haze, but she hears a voice that she didn't want to hear.
あなたはどうだか知らないけど、私はシローのことずいぶん前から知ってたんだから。
Oh. She doesn't consider why she can hear their conversation. She just wishes that she couldn't. If she could move her hands, she'd cover her ears. If she could move her legs, she would go to the living room and put a stop to this.
私、それ見てたの。ちょうど昇降口から出てすぐのところ、校庭の端っこでバカみたいにとべっこない高跳びを繰り返すやつをやっぱりバカみたいに眺めてたわけ。
The girl bites her lip. Her sluggish fingers clench the bedsheets hard enough to tear them. The old story her sister recounts in a disinterested tone. The sight on the schoolyard that evening, 4 years ago. Rin is talking about the memory like it only belongs to her. Like it's something that only she knew about. She's lost in a beautiful memory, even though I didn't even know she was there.
やめて。お願いだから。それ以上。
Don't take this memory from me, the girl begs. With an inaudible voice, she squeezes out a plea that no one can hear. Her sister continues telling the tale. The girl is getting left behind just as she feared. It was the only thing. That memory was the one and only precious thing she had over her big sister, who was now treating it like any other memory.
やだ。やだ。やだ。やだ。
She reinforces her frayed nerves with her power, her mind, and covers both ears with her hands. She doesn't want to hear it. This is torture. Why does she know what's happening in the living room? Does her shadow stretch that far? No, never mind that. She doesn't want to hear anything. No more. If she hears any more, she has a feeling she'll go insane. Still, she can't block out the conversation, even as she covers her ears. Her sister's words echo straight into her brain. She can cover her ears and gouge out her eyes, but she can't escape that sight. And then,
シロ、私はいよいよとなったらあの子を殺す。それがどちらにとっても最良の方法よ。それをあなたもよく考えておきなさい。
her sister coldly thrust those words she least wanted to hear at the last person she wanted to hear them. And then she couldn't hear their voices anymore. She can't tell what's happening in the living room. Of course not. Her world consists only of this dark room. She can't step into that distant bright world. Her eyelids feel warm. She realizes she's been crying on her own. She's sad and frustrated. Her sister is a coward. Why? Why is she forcing the obvious conclusion on Senpai? Because it's her duty as the Tosaka mage? Then she can fulfill it on her own. Why pull Senpai into it? My sister is trying to make my Senpai, my one and only ally in the whole world, stand with her. Hate. She knows how self-centered it sounds, but she hates her. She's going to make Senpai abandon Sakuramato. Rin Tosaka is truly cruel for doing that. But it's strange. Why do I hate her so much when it's what I want? Nesan said I should just disappear. I know that, and I agree. I can't remember the details anymore, but I do know that Shirou Emiya would be saved if I was gone. I can't. I don't want to lose anything else. I don't want to be alone anymore. I know warmth now, so I'm afraid of the cold. I know warmth now, so I hate everyone who's been warm this whole time. I won't disappear for them. I won't let them kill me. Because...
私は何も悪くないんだから。
Everyone else is wrong. I never wanted this outcome. It only happened because nobody helped me. So, if nobody did anything to help me, that means they wanted it to happen. They weren't against me. That's the same as agreeing with me. In that case, nobody will punish me. They couldn't if they tried.
死なない。姉さんの思い通りには。
No. The actual problem is that I can't die. Nobody can kill me. If they're going to, I'm okay with that. If I'm going to be killed, I'll... instead. Not just my sister. Even Senpai. If they try to erase me, I won't put up with it anymore. If they're going to hate me and go far away, then I'd rather... Senpai with my own hands before he ends up with someone else. Just like in my nightmares. She coughs. Painfully, she turns her delusions into blood, expelling it from her mouth.
ダメだ。私、ダメみたいです。先輩。
Nothing connects. She doesn't know what's good or bad. She doesn't know if she's right or wrong. Who am I? How much sanity do I have left? Everything's getting so foggy, I feel like going mad.
こんにちは。まだ自分は残っている？さくら。
You know what? I'll be right back. I just need to go do something real quick. Okay, let's pick up where we left off. And then, she realizes there's a silver-haired girl standing there. She's just like her. A pale girl who was never treated as human, meant to become a vessel. Oh, hold on, I forgot something real quick. There we go.
セイバー、ランサー、キャスター、バーサーカー。この4つだけならまだよかったのに。どこでそんなものを取り込んだの？さくら。まだアサシンとライダーが残ってるのに。もう満ち足りてるなんて驚きだわ。
She's speaking to her as one grail to another. She doesn't know. She's heard from her grandfather that just like the girl, she's a container to store the souls of defeated servants. But the implication that servants other than the ones she was given were defeated is...
それはいいわ。おかげでアーチャーを奪われる心配がなくなったんだから、深くは尋ねない。けどさくら、これから自分がどうなるか分かっている？
She feels something go cold deep inside her head. The question pulls Sakura Mato out of her fevered haze.
知りません。どうなるんですか、私。
The pale girl pauses. The Ironsburn master, created solely to be a vessel, looks down at the imitation before her.
絶対に助からない。
She tells the broken girl of their shared fate. Well then. My body still feels heavy. I need to make lunch for Sakura, but right now I want to lie down for a little while and give my mind a break. I flop onto the futon and bury my head in the pillow. I know. Ever since that day, we've run out of time to stall any longer. I can't keep putting off the question. Sakura, I need to decide what I'm going to do right here, right now.
エミやシロだな。
I jump out of bed. A voice. I'm sure I heard a voice. It came from within this room, very close by. A chill runs down my spine. The scary thing is, I know the owner of the voice is in here, and I still have no idea where it is.
警戒は無用だ。お前を殺しに来たわけではない。
Who is this? Someone whispers in my ear. This voice. The flowing yet robotic way... Oh, it is Assassin! The flowing yet robotic way of talking belongs to that skull-masked servant.
assassin.
What a disaster. Even if he specializes at stealth, how'd he manage to slip through the house's bounded field and get this far without anyone noticing?
殺しに来たんじゃないだと。世間話でもあるっていうのか。
I search for the presence I felt behind me while judging the distance to the door. It'll take 3 seconds to leap across the room to the hallway and dive into the yard. Assassin could kill me 4 times in that span of time, meaning that the only way to survive this is to entertain him.
私ではない。お前と会合を望んでいるのは魔術師殿だ。
魔術師殿って造剣のことか。
そうだ。魔頭の屋敷でお前を待っている。魔術師殿にも戦闘の意思はない。お前が一人で赴くのなら魔術師殿もお前を歓迎するだろう。
Assassin's words are believable. If his goal was to kill me, I would have been dead as soon as he entered the room. The fact that it hasn't happened yet means that Zoken wants to talk. What he wants to talk about and whether it's a trap are separate issues. Alright. I'll accept. No, we have much of a choice. It's a trap. That much is obvious. But it's just as true that I might never get another chance to speak with Zoken one-on-one again. And if I can't afford to wait, whether it's a trap or not, I need to face Zoken and get him to take the crestworms out of Sakura.
わかった。俺に話があるんだな、造剣は。
良い選択だ。では急ぐがいい。私とていつまでもライダーの目はごまかせ。他の者がこの会合に気づけば、魔術師殿の気が変わろう。
俺だけにする内緒話ってわけか。
He doesn't answer. I must not have any further business. He must not have any further business with me now that I've agreed. Assassin disappears completely, just as suddenly as he appeared. I sneak out of the Emiya house and make my way to the Mato mansion. The sky is cloudy. Because of the dim weather, the house seems shrouded in ominous air, even though it's still daytime. I go inside without ringing the doorbell. It's been a year since I was last in this house. I rely on my vague memory of it to walk through a hall into the parlor on the first floor.
おう、思ったより早い到着だな。エミヤの個性がね。
Zoken's the only person I see in the parlor. I don't see Assassin or the Dark Saber. Looks like he really did want to talk to me.
なんじゃ。わしと挨拶を交わす気にもならんか。
Yeah, fuck
これ
you.
は随分と嫌われたようだの。
Zoken doesn't exude any bloodlust. He's making fun of me. His obvious confidence is in not even bothering to kill me after all this time starts to irritate me.
さて、招待を受けたからにはお主も話があるのだろう。ならば座るがよい。お互い立ち話で済ませることではなかろう。
まさかお前との話なんて立ち話で済ませるもんだろう。
I fought down the urge to strike Zoken down where he stands and glared daggers into him instead. Unlike him, I can't hide my hostility. I don't have an ounce of forgiveness for the person who did that to Sakura's body.
ゾウケン、これが話し合いだって言うなら俺から言うことは一つだけだ。今すぐさくらを解放しろ。
If he refuses, then the only thing left to do is fight. Even if he summons Assassin or Saber, I'll take this monster down before I die.
さくらの解放か。いや、そうしたいのはわしも山々なのじゃがな。残念だが、もはやわしではどうしようもできんのだよ、小僧。
The old mage standing in front of me looks genuinely regretful as he says it.
なんだと。
わしが何をしたところで、あそこまで育ったあれは救えんのだ。さくらはすでに聖杯として機能しておる。この場でわしが刻印中を取り除いたところで、あれが自滅することに変わりはない。
Wait. Holy Grail? Sakura's functioning as a Holy Grail? What does the Holy Grail have to do with this?
待て、さくらが聖杯ってどういうことだ。お前、さくらは一体。
決まっておろう。聖杯を手に入れ、己が望みを叶えるための手段じゃよ。すべては我らマキリの悲願、真の不老不死たる魂の物質化のために、10年前の戦いの折、わしはあれに聖杯としての機能を与えたのだ。
聖杯としての機能を与えた。
そうだ。10年前の聖杯戦争の終わりは聞いていいよ。お前の父エミヤキリツグは儀式によって完成した聖杯を破壊した。戦いはそこで終わり、聖杯を下ろす儀式はまたも失敗したのだ。だが何もかも失敗だったわけではない。一時であれ聖杯は完成したのだ。ならばその破片、砕け散った聖杯をそのまま捨ておくのは惜しかろう。
My brain grinds to a halt. So this man took his granddaughter and...
そう。回収した聖杯を移植したのだ。だがわしと
No,
て
you
そこ
are
まで
absolutely a
結構ではない
fiend.
あれが人間として生活できるよう工夫はしたがな。
じゃあ、さくらの体内の刻印中は
聖杯を触媒にして生み出したものよ。それによって肉体は魂を受け入れるための容器となり、儀式が果たされた時門となって道をつなげる触媒となった。アインツベルンが作り上げる聖杯の真似事よ。まあわしではキャツラほどの技術がないゆえ、8割方自己流となってしまったがな。
He chuckles warmly. What imitation of the Einsburn? He just picked up some pieces of the finished grail and put them into Sakura, who had nothing to do with any of this.
てめえ、自分じゃ聖杯が作れないからって、そんな方法で聖杯の真似事をしようとしたのか。
実験、あくまで実験じゃよ、エミヤの個性がね。この程度では次につなげる実験に過ぎん。本来ならあれはゆっくりと何十年と歳月をかけて聖杯に近い存在へ変わっていく予定だった。魂を収める器としての機能を持ちながら、あくまで人間として生き天寿を全うするように施したマキリ流の聖杯の第一歩になるはずだった。
さくらが第一歩だと。
当然じゃろう。さくらはそのために魔頭によこされた娘じゃ。阿頭に娘をやるということはマキリの悲願達成の礎とすること。当坂とてそれは承知のはず。キャツもわしも目的は同じだからな。不老不死を手に入れるためならば共に鬼にもなるわ。
不老不死だって、そんなバカみたいな理由でさくらを利用したっていうのか。お前、
無論もとよりこの地に起こした聖杯戦争はその位置に至るための儀式。そのためだけに我らは手を組み、わしだけが今も無様に生き続けておる。魔頭の後継者たちによって遥か先になるであろう悲願達成のためにな。だが運命とは皮肉なものよ。本来なら適用しない聖杯だったはずの桜はここに来て驚くほどの成長を遂げおった。いやはやわしも老いた。よもや桜があれほどの素質を持っていたとはの。多くのサーバントを取り込みながらも自滅せず、魔頭桜の自我を残したまま未だ生きながらえておる。その姿はまさに聖杯。わしでは作り上げられぬと諦めていたアインツベルルの聖杯そのものよ。
I can't take this anymore. I'm not strong enough to keep listening to this monster's rambling. I forget that Zoken still has assassins serving him.
ふざけんな。何が聖杯だ。人間を犠牲にしただけのものを偉そうに聖杯なんて言うんじゃ。
I give in to my anger, step in to punch Zoken. And yet,
いや、聖杯だとも。そもそも聖杯を作り上げるアインツベルンからして聖杯のベースは人間ではないか。
I stop moving in response to Zoken's smirk.
人間か、ベース。
I stagger back out of my aggressive posture. I despise myself for immediately realizing whom he's talking about, even though I didn't want to know.
そうだ。お主がかくまっておるイリアスフィールとて聖杯よ。だが同類にされては困るぞ。何しろアインツベルンはわしより数倍太刀が悪い。キャツらが用意した聖杯がどのようなものなのか、それは本人に聞くがよい。
My raised fist falls limply. It isn't just Sakura. Having been told that Ilya is in the same predicament, any hostility I had towards Zoken is overshadowed by profound regret.
さて、お主の話はそれで終わりだな。ではそろそろこちらの番だ。お主を呼んだ理由。あの影について相談したいことがある。
Oh, like you don't already know what it is. He wants to ask me about the shadow? Zoken must be talking about the black shadow that's been attacking people all over town. But that would mean...
何言ってやがる。あれはあんたの仲間だろ。なのに相談があるだなんて。俺たちにあれを倒させたいっていうのかよ。
I shoot Zoken a suspicious glare.
いや、話が早い。そう。わしはあの影をどうにかしてもらいたい。そのためにはお主の力が必要なのだ。エミやシロウ。
本気か。あんたとあいつは仲間だろ。
仲間？さて、手を貸したことはあるが、あれから手を貸してもらったことなどない。第一あれと意思疎通などできるものか。わしはただあれが暴れ出さぬよう道を整えていただけだ。
Yeah,
被害を
bullshit you
最
have.
小限に抑えるため舞をなだめていたようなものなのだが、それも昨夜からできなくなった。言ったであろう。もはやわしではどうしようもなくなったのだと。
My heart convulses. There's nothing I can do about it now. Who is he talking about?
草原。
おう、そうであったな。その前にあの影が何であるかを教えてやらねばならなかった。うん。言ってしまえばあれは聖杯の中身だ。聖杯とは願いを叶える万能の釜と言われるが、我らが目指した聖杯は釜ではない。聖杯もまた手段に過ぎん。アインツベルン、マキリ、トーサカ、この3家が目指したものは完成された聖杯をもって外に通じる門を開くこと。完成した聖杯とはあらゆる望みが叶う場所とこちらの世界をつなげる門と思えばよい。
待て、じゃあ聖杯っていうのは？
知れたこと。我らの目的は全て根源に通じること。だがわしはそのようなことに興味はない。アインツベルンとて聖杯の完成だけを求めた者どもだ。根源を目指しているのは今では遠坂ぐらいのものだろうよ。まあよい。ともかく聖杯とは願望期につながる穴だ。あの影はそこからこちら側に漏れているものでな。本来の聖杯イリアスフィールならばあのようなことにはならん。あの影は聖杯の模造品がしでかした不始末だ。いや、身内の恥を口にするのははばかられるのだが、育て方を誤ったのだろうな。あやつめ、聖杯として成長したはいいが、きちんと門を閉められんようだ。その不始末で自分が壊れるのは勝手じゃが、人様を巻き込むのはいただけまい。困ったものじゃよ。このままではわしが手塩にかけた聖杯が町中の人間を飲み込んでしまいかねん。
He shakes his head as if it's someone else's problem, muttering, "Goodness me." Those words would have normally made me punch the person that had uttered them. But now what Zoken is saying makes my blood run cold.
じゃあ、あの黒い影は？
There's no doubt.
とっくに気づいていたのだろう。何しろあれは桜の影だ。身近にいたお主ならばあれと桜が似ていると分かっていたはず。
That it's Sakura-mato. I struggle against the dizziness. Against the truth. I accept the connection between them I've known for a while, but always denied. No matter what that shadow is, I can't recognize its sins as...
桜はそれを？
いや、桜本人が知るまい。あれは桜を通して現れる聖杯の影。本来はあのように形を得ることはないのだが、桜という門を通して出現する際、桜を原型にし、こちら側での存在をかたどったものに過ぎん。聖杯は桜が封じている井戸を借り受けることにより、あのように限界したのだ。正直わしもあれは予想外じゃった。ありえぬとさえ否定したが、日に日に力を増していく以上、もはや認めざるを得まい。あれは意志を持った聖杯だ。故に自らを完成させるため、糧となる人間の魂を求め続ける。止める方法は一つだけよ。聖杯が桜の無意識によって生まれているのならば、桜本人を止めればよい。そう思い桜を説得しようと試みたのだがな。あの影はわしが桜に近寄ることを阻む。
意志こそないもののあの影はさくら自身じゃ。さくらが嫌う相手ならば影も嫌悪する。
Oh boy, that's not good then.
もはやわしではさくらに近寄ることさえままならん。
じゃああんたはさくらに近づけないのか。
お主らはさくらをわしの手駒と考えておるようじゃが、それも過去の話。あれはもはやお主の手にある。さくらと離れたこのわしではあれを律することはできん。
That's something to be happy about. At the very least, Zoken can't touch Sakura anymore. So if we can just do something about the crest worms in her body.
待て、あんたさくらに何もしていないのか。
しておらぬが、
なら今もさくらが苦しんでいるのは。
それはさくら自身の問題じゃな。わしは刻印地を使った覚えなどない。あれは聖杯であること、聖杯からの力の流入で自身を保てなくなっておるだけよ。考えてもみよ。あらゆる願いを叶えるほどの膨大な魔力の渦がある。その渦から流れてくるものを人の身で受けているのだぞ。さくらの脆弱な精神がその本流に耐えられるはずもなかろう。
じゃあこのままいけばさくらは
聖杯であることに耐えきれず破裂するであろうな。いや、さくらの意識が空になれば井戸を借り受けていた聖杯が浮上する。あれは自分自身の影に飲み込まれるか。理解したかね。ここでわしを倒すのも無駄なこと。わしを倒せば聖杯戦争が終結するとなれば、あとは聖杯が起動するのみ。聖杯として起動すればさくらの精神などたやすく無産しよう。あれを救いたいのであらば聖杯戦争の期限切れまで耐えることだ。大聖杯の完成、門を開くタイミングというものはそう長くは続かん。開始よりすでに10日。過去の例からいけばあと4日ほどでこたびの戦いは終結しよ
4日。このまま4日経てばさくらは助かるっていうのか。
う。さて、それはお主が判断すること。今朝のあれの容体はどうであった。あと4日持つと思うか。
持つ。そんなの持つに決まってるだろ
う。なるほどなるほど。だが他の人間はそうはいくまい。昨夜消え去った人間は何人だ。今夜消え去る人間は何人だと思う。いいな。あと何日この町の人間は残っていると思うのかね。
I can't hear the old mage's question very well. Is he enjoying this or lamenting it? My head is spinning so badly I can't tell the difference. Defeating Zoken will solve nothing. Sakura won't last until the end of the Holy Grail War. We can't beat that shadow. The people of Fuyuki will keep dying as long as the war goes on.
じゃあどうすれば。
Can I save Sakura? I clench my teeth. Then,
簡単な話だ。お主がさくらに手を下せばよい。
Zoken states the cold logic that I already know.
そうであろう。これ以上生かしておいても先はなし。黒い影は今夜も人を襲うだろう。それを防ぐため、あの娘を今すぐ消せ。
I feel dizzy.
わしの要件とはそれよ。お主に現状を理解させてやろうと思うての。エミやシロウは最大の厄災を保護しておるのだと。
I want to vomit.
わしや当坂の娘では感づかれる。だがお主ならば、あれは喜んでその判断に身を委ねよ。
I can't breathe.
万人のために悪を打つ。分かっていよう。お主がその意志を継ぐのなら、麻藤さくらこそお主の敵だ。
I can't think at all. I walk through the hallway saying nothing, feeling like molasses oozing through the meandering hallways. I can't feel anything firm with my feet when my feet touch the ground or when my hands touch the walls. This is so cruel. It's like I'm in a warped nightmare with no way out. I find my way outside, forgetting to breathe.
お主ならば間違いまい。さくらには気の毒だが、これも運命と諦めてもらおう。
I walk.
だが小僧、孫に代わって礼を言うぞ。あれは今まで何一つ自分のための行いなどしてこなかった。父親に見捨てられた小野が身を呪うでもなく、さりとて姉のように万能を望むでもなく、ただそこにあるだけの人形がごときうつろな存在であった。
I walk. I walk.
その人形が初めて望んだ男に愛されたのだ。いやいや、さぞ本望であろう。そう自身を責めることはない。お主は最後に一つ哀れな孫に贈り物をしてくれたのだからな。
I walk. I walk. I walk. I move forward on legs that feel like they could give out at any moment in the direction of the house Sakura is waiting in. I go down the hill. Once I go up the next hill, the Emiya house will be there like it always is. I can't stay out here forever. Whatever my reasons, I had a secret meeting with Zoken. It isn't fair to Tosaka or the sleeping Sakura, so I need to get back home before they notice. I'll go home and make a decision. The contents of my stomach rise to my throat. I decided I'd be Sakura's ally. I said that I'd protect her no matter what happens to her. I'd be on her side, not the side of justice. But that would mean repeating the tragedy that took so many lives before. I can't do that. I just can't do it. Shirou Emiya can't break this vow. It would be the same here as rejecting who you are. You were the only survivor of that tragedy, and if you're going to allow it to happen again, then you'd be rejecting everyone and everything that's supported you this far. No matter how it ends, that sin will never be forgiven. Even on your deathbed. Inaction is silent approval. More innocent people are going to die tonight. If you know that and you don't stop the perpetrator, then you may as well have started the fire yourself.
お前が今までの自分を否定し、たった一人を生かそうというのなら。
あなたはどんなことがあってもさくらの味方ですか？
This is a question of protecting one person or protecting everyone but that person. Whose side will I be on in the end? I have to decide tonight. I enter the living room.
あれシロ、今玄関側の廊下から来なかった？
Illy is sitting alone in the living room.
ああ、ちょっと外に出てた。俺の留守中、なんかあったか？
何もなかったけど。ダメよシロ、部屋で休んでなきゃ。シロの体だってさくらと同じぐらい危ないんだから。
うん、サンキュー。けどまあ、俺のはちゃんと布を巻いてれば大事はないから。
もうそんなこと言ってると簡単に倒れちゃう。シロ、外で何かあったの？
いや、別に何も。
何もなくないわ。何をしてきたか知らないけど、そんなうつろな目で私と話なんかしないで。
She got mad at me. I must be making a really stupid face right now. No wonder Ilya's upset.
すまん。悩んでも仕方ないっていうのについ考え込んじまった。
I shake my head. Like Ilya says, I can't afford to space out. I can't face Sakura looking this pathetic either, so I better man up.
合格。よしよし、少しは元気出たみたいね。さて、それじゃあ聞きたいことは何？私でいいなら力になってあげるよ、シロ。
Oh man. Sometimes Ilya can be incredibly kind. This is the second time she's reached out to help me when I was at my wit's end. It's hard to tell which of us is older now.
ああ、じゃあ聞いていいかな、イリア。
いいよ、何でも教えてあげる。シロが教えてほしいのは
聖杯、アインツベルの聖杯について教えてくれ。
そっか、知られちゃったか。シロには知られたくないことが2つあったけど。
イリア、それじゃその。
私は聖杯だよ。初めから人間じゃない。そういう風に作られたホムンクルス。
A homunculus, an artificial human. In alchemy, there are ways to create life from various magical components without needing a mother to give birth. Born from less than respectable methods, homunculi are physically feeble as a general rule. They're alive like humans and look like humans, but they aren't human. That's how a select few can be created with enormous magic circuits. As living creatures, they're frail. But as mages, no, as magic circuits, homunculi can greatly surpass humans.
ま、そういうこと。ハインツベルンは聖杯とマスター両方の機能を持った存在として私を育てたの。聖杯の役目は倒されたサーバントの魂を回収すること。それだけに特化していれば別に人間でなくても、極端な話、シチュー鍋でも構わない。要は魂の入れ物として大きければいいんだから。
Ilya speaks flatly, but this is the first time I've heard the Holy Grail is meant to collect servants.
もっとも回収っていうよりは帰還なんだけど、サーバントは聖杯によって召喚された。なら倒された後は聖杯を通って帰るのが筋でしょ。この町にあるアインツベルンの聖杯は私だけだから、本当ならみんな私が回収している。
Yeah, but you aren't because Sakura is.
けど私以外にも聖杯として機能しているやつがいたのね。気づいた時にはキャスターとランサーを取られてて、引き寄せる力はそっちの方が強くなってたの。だからほとんどのサーバントはそいつに取られたわ。アーチャーだけは私の目の前で消えたからきちんと回収できたんだけど。
She doesn't need to explain the rest. The other Holy Grail is Sakura. According to Ilya, Sakura has already taken in Caster and Lancer, even Saber and Berserker too.
サーバント4人分の魂。けどイリア、そんなものを押さえつけておけるのか。人間の体には1人分の魂しか入らないんだろう、原則として。
ええ、それが英霊ならなおのことよ。クラスという殻を失い純粋な魂となったサーバントの魔力は膨大だわ。一つ取り込むだけで体の中に台風が生まれるようなものよ。それを最終的に7つ集めるのが聖杯の機能。そこに入れ物自体の魂の入る余地なんてない。今までの聖杯が魂のない無機物だったのはそのためなの。聖杯の機能は英霊7人分の魂を回収してそれを統括し管理すること。そこに余分なプログラムは走らない。聖杯の人格なんてものは聖杯の機能にかき消されてしまうだけ。つまりね、シロ、聖杯が完成すればするほど人間としての機能が消えていくの。 それは私だって同じ。サーバントを回収して、それが多くなれば多くなるほど制御のために人間の機能をカットしていく。手足を動かす魔力をカットすれば、その分精密に魂を制御できる。呼吸をしなければ取り込んだ魂を外部に漏らすこともなくなる。人格を形成している部分を全て演算に回せば、魂の統合も安定する。それは桜も同じよ。聖杯になってしまえば、もう人間の人格なんて走らない。人間でいるなんて、そんな余裕はなくなってしまう。ただ、そうね、私と桜の違いがあるとしたら、私は自分の意志で切り替えるけど、桜はただ書き換えられていくだけってこと。不完全な黒い聖杯である桜には拒否権が存在しない。
Ilya explains it all without a hint of emotion. Ilya knew all along. She's probably known since she was born. No, even before that. Her life was created purely for this absurd purpose. Still, there's a silver lining in this. I breathe a sigh of relief and look up gratefully.
どうしたのシロ？私、桜はもう助からないって言ったのよ。
I know that. I know that, but still.
イリアと桜は二人で分け合ってるんだろ。ならイリアはまだ。
そうね。ほとんど桜に取られちゃったから、イリアでいることに支障はないわ。ライダーとアサシ、あの二人を取り込んでも人間としての機能を削る必要はないかな。
Right, that's the one saving grace of this situation. If I were to lose Ilya too, it would mean that I failed to protect even a single person.
シロ？
I realize I'm hugging Ilya. I never made her any promises, nor did she ask for anything.
シロ？
Her body is small and I can't hug her too hard. It's a one-sided embrace. I feel with my own fingers the weight of someone whom I must protect. It's 2 p.m. I make a late lunch and bring it to Sakura's room.
さて、
I remove my apron and place a bowl of okayu on a tray. I take one deep breath and completely still my heart. I don't know what I'll say if I see Sakura in my current condition. That wouldn't be good. If she notices my inner turmoil, it'll make her suffer even worse than me. I need to cool my emotions so I don't say anything careless. This will probably be the last time. It's our last chance to meet and look at each other, like we always have. At the very least, I want this precious time to end with a smile.
桜、起きてるか？遅くなったけど昼にしよう。
I knock and enter the room. Sakura looks like she was sleeping, but her face lights up when I come in.
はい。来てもらえて嬉しいです、先輩。
She smiles warmly, looking genuinely happy. Time passes. Sakura's body is on the mend. She's well enough to sit up and eat her okayu on her own. We spend lunchtime leisurely, chatting about nothing important. Sakura goes back to her bed and continues talking to me. Maybe she's sleepy after eating. That's all. This is all I can do for her now. Sakura looks lively now. Her breathing is steadier now and the color has returned to her cheeks. I have a hard time believing someone who told me she only has a few days left to live.
でも私、風邪ってあんまりひいたことないんです。昔から体だけは頑丈で、寝込んだことなんてなかったんですよ。
The topic turns from disliking cold medicine to Sakura telling me how healthy she normally is. Apparently, she's never been a sickly person, and any time she came close to catching a cold, she would overcome her symptoms through sheer willpower.
気合って暖かくして安静にしていたとか？いや、それじゃ気合を入れるってニュアンスじゃないよな。 なんだろう、風で気合を入れるって。
いえ、それは割と恥ずかしい話なので秘密です。
Sakura gives me a rare shy giggle. Sounds like Sakura was a feisty kid in a different way than I was.
だから風邪薬は嫌いっていうより信用できないっていうか、飲み薬は効き目がわからないから逆に不安になりませんか？
ああ、子供の頃はそうだったかな。苦いのを我慢して飲んだのに治らなくて、体が痛いのも熱があるのも得体の知れない薬のせいにしてたっけ。
Sakura agrees enthusiastically with an "I know, right?" Her smile is almost enough to make me imagine that she's well enough to be back on her feet tomorrow. I do my best to quash that wishful thinking. Sakura won't get better. I can't keep hoping that she'll get better and everything will go back to normal, and keep delaying my decision.
なあ、さくら。
Maybe I ask this because I've accepted the cold, hard reality.
体が治ったらさ、さくらは何がしたい？
I start imagining what if, and ask her about fantasies of the future.
私のやりたいことですか？
さくらがとにかく楽しいって思えることだ。何でもいいぞ。ただ聞いてるだけだから実現できる可能性はなしの方針で。
ちょっと待ってください。
Sakura's gaze wanders, her face troubled. She pauses to think.
なんかこれと言ってないみたいです。別に今のままでいいっていうか、先輩といられればそれでいいかなって。
She answers shyly, her cheeks flushing. My vision narrows. I use my stilled heart to quash the urge to pick her up and hug her.
あれは今まで何一つ自分のための行いなどしてこなかった。
Damn that old man. It's not that she never tried. She just doesn't know. She doesn't know what it means to do something fun. She doesn't know what she wants because she's never lived a normal life. She values the small things so much because she's never known normal happiness.
先輩、どうかしましたか？
ああ、ちょっと考え事。
She still hasn't done anything. Sakura doesn't know what it means to aspire to something or to feel the need to obtain something. She doesn't laugh when she's outside. She doesn't make friends. She's only known closed-off spaces like the Mato house and mine. I'd pay any price to change that.
先輩、やっぱりおかしいです。左手痛むんですか？
いや、そうじゃない。さくら、このゴタゴタが終わったらどこか遠くに行こう。今までどこかに遊びに行くとかなかっただろ。たまには遠出して触るのもいい。
Sakura looks at me curiously. Her surprised silence at my sudden suggestion gives the impression that she's wondering if this is a dream.
決まりだ。さくらはどこに行きたい？
どこって、
She looks panicked. She can't come up with an answer. Still, perhaps she found a wish within herself.
どこでもいいんですよね、先輩。
She timidly looks up at me.
いいよ。人間、その気になればいけないところなんてない。
I meant it seriously, but Sakura seems to have taken it as a joke. She laughs.
じゃあ、お花見とかしたいです、私。
She voices a modest wish in a grateful tone.
花見？花見ってあの花見か？
はい、このお屋敷でもできますけど、あるのは梅の木だけですから。天気のいい日に広い野原で先輩とお花見がしたいです。
そっか。それは確かに。
Like an incredibly fun time. It would be nice to go look at the springtime trees at the park under the bridge on a bright blue day without any clouds. There's countless fun things we could do. Hanami would be a perfect first outing for Sakura.
よし、じゃあ約束だ。さくらの体が治ってこのゴタゴタが終わったら二人で行こう。
Sakura flashes a contented smile. We exchange a promise, then I slowly stand up. Yeah. It would be a dream come true if that could happen. A dream of my own happiness, which I've never had since that fire 10 years ago. I leave the guest room. All that's left is that humble promise. It isn't only Sakura's wish. It's mine, too. Once April comes, I'll grant it as many times as it takes. A warm illusion forms in my cold heart. Winter will end someday, and we'll go look at the cherry blossoms together once the new spring comes. Night has come, and it's time to make a decision. We aren't going out on patrol. Tosaka is totally exhausted after spending the entire day making a mold of the jeweled sword. She's resting in her room. The same goes for Ilya. After the three of us ate dinner in silence, we went off to our respective bedrooms. It's 10 o'clock at night. If history is any indication, the shadow should be moving soon. I stand up without making any noise. I pick up a knife from the kitchen counter and leave the room. The door isn't locked. I quietly open it and walk up to the bed. Sakura is sleeping. That's all I know. I can't tell just by looking if her condition has improved or worsened. Something's wrong with my eyesight. Sakura is sleeping right in front of me, but I can't tell what face she's making. I fight down my dizziness and shaking. Make up your mind. Even as I stand here, the shadow might be attacking people in town right now. The most direct way to defeat it is to Sakura right now. Even if it isn't her fault, someone else will get hurt unless I do it. People could die. Innocent people unable to rest. Even Sakura, who never asked to commit these sins. I raise the knife. My mouth is dry. My tongue feels like cardboard. The blade is cold and unfeeling. When I imagine this thin strip of metal, which only exists to be sharp, plunging into the soft flesh of Sakura's living human throat, my eyes go numb. Like the feeling of falling onto a flathead screwdriver that happened to be bouncing up and stabs me directly in one of my eyeballs. The numb pain of going blind rips the meninges off my brain like when someone removes the peel off an orange. My senses are going haywire. The fingers that are gripping the knife look like they're being bent backwards by an unseen force. Like telekinesis in the movies. I ignore it and grip the knife harder. I just can't do it. My heart hurts. Blood runs down the fingers that are gripping the knife. I grind my teeth. I desperately try to stifle the sobs rising to my throat. My eyelids feel hot. I can't bear to look down, so I raise my head and control my anger. I lower the knife. No matter how hard I try, I can't manage something so simple. It pisses me off. Seriously, something's wrong with me. After everything I've done to come this far, I finally know my own heart.
バカか、俺は。
Yes. I came to an answer long ago. It was a choice I made with fatal conviction as I held Sakura that night in the rain.
裏切るのか。
Something tells me to remember. Didn't you say that you would be a hero? That you'd do what's right? The competing thoughts are tearing my body apart. A hero who will kill many people tonight for Sakura's sake. A hero who's always been selfish. Kiritsugu, who cast off his own feelings for what he believed in. A powerless human who saves others only for his own satisfaction. The fire 10 years ago. In exchange for being the only survivor, I've lived my life trying to prevent such a tragedy from ever happening again. All the time I've spent until now. Myself, my feelings that I've believed in for the past 10 years hammer my stopped self in the chest. I ask myself if I'm a traitor. Will I betray myself, who lived through the burning ruins, crying while everyone else died around me? That atonement. Will I betray my past self, who clung to the belief that he couldn't live without making it up to the people who died? Ah. It can't be forgiven with an apology. It isn't a sin that one can gloss over. I'm abandoning my own self. Even if it means turning my life into a lie, and leaving everything I've believed in, everyone who's helped me.
裏切るとも
I've chosen what I want to protect. As long as Sakura is smiling after this, I'm fine with it. Even if I have to lie to myself to go on living. These feelings aren't wrong. I need Sakura. Sakura needs me. For the first time, I wish to protect a single life over many lives. I take a deep breath and relax my numb fingers. This is the last time I doubt myself. I'll leave the room before Sakura wakes up and put the knife back. Just as I try to leave the room,
先輩どうして殺さないんですか
that's probably not good. Sakura's voice comes from the dark.
さくら
She was awake? Sakura is shaking in bed, staring at the knife I'm holding. Her eyes are clouded with pain. She looks like she's on the verge of tears, but not because I came here to kill her. It's as if she's apologizing for pushing me this far.
いいんですよ思う通りにして私自分じゃ怖くてできないから先輩ならいいです
Does she really mean that? Her voice is pleading and tinged with obvious fear. Trembling slightly, she gazes earnestly at the knife that hovers over her head, as if staring her inevitable death in the face. To me, it looks like her utmost determination to keep herself from just running away.
さくら
What have I done? Was I so desperate that I didn't even notice it? The way she was trembling. How did I just realize now that she was determined to pretend to sleep and let me live?
さくら俺は
分かってます先輩が選んだことはきっと正しいですだって悪いのは私ですから最後だから言っちゃいますけど私もういつまで自分でいられるかわからないんです一日がどれくらい長いのかお昼に先輩と何を話したのかそれっていつのお昼なのか昨日は何があって明日は何があるのか全然わからなくなっちゃいましたそれだけじゃないんですよ私おかしな夢を見るんです怖い夢でいつも血まみれででもそれが楽しいって思える自分がいてそういうのひとまとめにして怖い夢だったその夢の中だと私は悪者なんですみんなからたくさんのものを奪って笑っているんですそれが怖くてずっと助けてって言っていたのに誰も助けてくれなかっただからみんなが殺されるのは仕方ない 夢はただの夢だって見て見ぬふりをしてきました。でも違ったんです。私はそういう夢を望んでいた。本当は臆病で汚くてずるい自分、みんな嫌いで恨むことしかできなくて、あんな夢を一瞬でも楽しいだなんて思った私が悪かった。夢が悪いんじゃなくて、あんな夢を見る私自身が初めから言っちゃいけなかった。先輩、私少しずつおかしくなっているんです。このままいけばあんな夢しか見なくなって、先輩のこともわからなくなる。夢の中だけじゃなくて本当にみんなを殺して回る悪者になるんです。だからここでお願いできますか。私が悪い自分になる前に先輩の手で終わらせてもらえるなら、それで。
Sakura tries to say that it'll save her. Before she can, I cut her off with a hug. She's still trembling. I put more strength into my arms. This is an embrace I couldn't complete before. I pull Sakura in close when I could only bring myself to barely touch her before. I accept her body as hard as I can, my hands grasping her back fiercely. Sakura doesn't resist. Even though she's afraid of death, even though she doesn't want to die, even though she asked me to kill her, Sakura finally relaxes. She whispers the same words from that night in a grateful voice.
そんなのもうしてこれからのものじゃない。桜を守れなかった今までのことをずっと後悔する。
She gasps quietly. Sakura raises her arms. Her cool fingers trace my cheeks.
俺が守る。桜をちゃんと俺が守る。
I talk to her while she cries in my arms. That's all we can do now. All we can do is forgive each other, over and over. That night, I swore to be Sakura's ally. I don't regret that. There's only one person I should apologize to. Will you forgive me, Sakura? I tell her with my arms, not my voice. Will you forgive me for betraying myself? Finally, I confess my sin. The door closes. As if convincing himself, the boy swore he'd protect the girl over and over. Then he watched her fall asleep and left the room. In the dim light, Sakura Mato heaves a pained sigh. She hasn't been sleeping. She only pretended to sleep to let the even more exhausted boy rest. Besides, she can't sleep anymore. If she does, she'll dream. She'll watch something that looks like her kill people. It terrifies her. She doesn't remember what she dreamed last night. She has no memory of what happened before she passed out in front of the house. So, she's sure that if she falls asleep tonight, she'll never wake up again. She'll lose her mind for good and betray the boy who embraced her. The boy abandoned himself and chose to believe in the weak and dishonest Sakura Mato instead. His conviction pains her. She knows that if she becomes the way she is in her dreams, she won't be able to face him again. That's right. She has broken his heart, and it can never be fixed. So she has to endure this. She must stay awake and hold on to her mind for as long as she can, so that she can never have that dream again. Even she has someone willing to protect her. If there's even a shred left of her nasty, cowardly self, then Sakuramato needs to hold on to it with all of her might.
私はそれでいいけど
Some things can never go back to the way they were. She's committed sins that she'll never be able to atone for.
俺が守る。
He repeated that promise, knowing there was no hope from no future. The memory of it brings tears to her eyes. Half an hour ago, when he came into the room, she made up her mind. She knows what it feels like when someone comes to kill her. Right now, she's sensitive to hostility. She'd sense someone coming for her life, even if she was asleep. But it was an empty bloodlust. Not devoid of feeling, but a pitiful void like a gaping hole opened in his chest, allowing a cold breeze to blow through it. She accepted that she would die here. She thought it would be best if the boy was the one to stop her. But she was too timid, too cowardly. She told herself it was all right to die, but she couldn't stop herself from shaking. She did it again. She drove him into a corner with excuses convenient only for her. He embraced her. The boy embraced her despite everything. They both know they have no future. He knew where his choice would lead, and he hugged her anyway. She felt his determination. His embrace told her that he would combine their sins and face the consequences together. It made her sad. She's always known that. He's someone who can do that. In the dusk-lit schoolyard, she watched a stranger run over and over. The boy in the distance changed her whispers of give up into good luck. Her wish was born at that moment. She wants to be with him. She wants him to protect her. She adored him without knowing why, and when her grandfather ordered her to go to the Emiya house, her dream came true.
俺が守る。さくらの味方をするって誓ったんだから。
This is the result of that promise. He's going to keep breaking for the rest of his life. She finally understands why she looked up to him. To the girl, the boy was beautiful. She was pathetic, but he was different. He was straightforward, and she wished for him to stay that way.
なのに私が
Yes, she's remembered. She wanted to protect him. I wanted to protect him. That awkward, honest person she saw in the yard that afternoon was precious to her. And she wanted to protect him.
壊してしまった
That's all she ever wanted. So why? Why did she do this to him? And so, during a span of time which would have been interrupted if she hadn't had her mind focus, she made her final choice.
いるんでしょライダー
She calls out into the darkness. A woman appears out of thin air, like a ghost. She is Ryder, Sakuramato's servant.
やっぱり私の声をしていたんですか
ええ、彼がさくらに手を挙げていれば私が殺していたでしょう。
She sighs. That was a close call. Ryder would give priority to her master's life. She only judges people based on whether they threaten her master or not. Meaning that a moment ago, Shirou Emiya was undoubtedly Ryder's enemy.
先輩には手を挙げないでライダー
人を傷つけたらあなた。
私の役割はさくらの守護です。彼があなたの敵に回るのなら、その時は使命を全うするしかない。あなたがどうなろうと、私は的をさくらを守るだけですから。
それは私が渡して亡くなってもということ。
Ryder doesn't say anything. That's the answer Sakura fears the most. Indeed, even if Shirou Emiya is Sakura Mato's ally, Ryder will view him as an enemy to be defeated if she judges him a threat to Sakura. The girl sits up and clenches her fist. She isn't angry at Ryder. She's just afraid that her hypothesis might turn out to be true.
さくら、何をする気ですか？その体で魔術行使をしては。
She's using her last command spell. The girl ignores Ryder's warning and raises her right hand towards the gloom. She feeds her power into it for just an instant. After a flash of light, her right hand is the only thing that's changed.
さくら、
最後の霊樹です。お願いライダー、この先何があっても先輩を最後まで守ってあげて。
The girl pants as she issues her final order. Sakura Mato's hand no longer glows with the light of command spells.
おじい様は私が止めます。これは私とマトウの問題です。もう手遅れだけど、これ以上迷惑はかけられない。
She declares her next move, holding back a cough. Her eyes burn bright in the darkness. Their frail glow marks the determination of a mage. Man. I swear, the closer we get to finishing, like I have had these on other paths, but oh man, I think I've had the most on Heaven's Feel alone. Oh my god. Whew. This is really hitting me hard, you know? I think it's a miracle that I've only actually teared up one time during this. Because this shit always gets me in the games like this. Oh, man. Like, my fucking chest hurts. But I want to keep going. Oh my god. Alright, well, I'm gonna end the episode here, compose myself, and then just immediately start recording the next one. So, I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.